Yeah, I'm very late, and it's nothing to do with disliking or anything. It's more the fact that, well, as I said before, I just don't have stamina to do these bad reviews anymore. That's why it's delayed. But I will fulfill every single chapter until it is end. Then I'm gonna come to Despair Reviewer, although I only reviewed in zero, even though that too is not so much reviewing. Chapter 284. In this one, that was taken 3 weeks ago, something like that. Shiki confronts the chronophage, which reveals core to be that of a beautiful woman in a dress with long hair. As she waves her hair, suddenly the world inside the center of her takes a very familiar look, including bee cubes, suggesting that maybe this is a connection to something at all. Then, when the Xenophage core attacks Shiki and he tells her his name, he says it's Shiki. She actually seems to recall that name, but she still calls herself only the priestess whose time was stolen. Which makes it wonder that maybe there is a chance that this is actually connected to Rebecca after all. After all, she is also a priestess of time. Or is this connected to her relatives of the priestess of time? Even though Shiki says that he doesn't know what happened to her, he does says that he cannot be allow her to cause you trouble. But he needs her help. Back on the Eden Syrup, it battles one with strong ferocity, as Void and one are synchronized, but Siggy and Void are still clashing. As Siggy says that even if you destroy the world, you cannot create a world inhabited only by machines. But Void just says now that Mother is dead, lowly humans will die out, and he still denies himself having once been humans, and he still believes there can only be one with machines, even though yes, as Siggy says, if Mother dies, so does machines. The fact that it isn't that he dislikes humans is not because well he dislikes humans with hatred. He has simply has considered them a necessity. He's basically thinking with an AI without emotions. That and Sigirius proclaims that this is not a future. You only proclaim one future, and this is not the only one. And no one has the right to deny that. Of course, Void just throws those words back at Siggy, but and Siggy just humorously admits that he is right, uh, and that it is his fault for having raised him the wrong way, raised Void, even though technically Void is not fully his son anyway. As he detaches his cape feathers, I just realized that his new um, overdrive form is basically as one giant black suit, which is actually not so hot. And he detaches his cape, creating sharp objects, as he calls them Sinoflares, that's the name of the chapter. He sends them at Void, and the chapter ends with them cutting off his legs, with Siggy proudly proclaiming that your time power were in your legs. Because earlier, Void proclaimed that you cannot defeat me as long as I have Cat Leaper. And Siggy said, Cat Leaper is always in the legs. Cutting them off means that Void no longer has the ability to travel through time. The fight is going in Siggy's favor. So all in all, a relatively short chapter with not so much happening, even though the fight against Siggy and Void are getting fiercer. But after going back and reading on this, it actually didn't feel it didn't feel as I didn't feel as frustrated as the first time I read it. I actually felt a little bit satisfying. Void is basically as a devoid AI with emotion, an AI without any sense of emotion and just seeing one thing. Typical like all the other AIs that gone evil. Even though Siggy is proclaiming there is still a future for machines to embark, he's not wrong when he says that machines need Mother too to survive. But who is this core of the chronophage? Is this truly a time-displaced Rebecca again? Well, given the fact that Shiki and Rebecca are connected to time and space in reality, that would not be so surprising. Give me your thoughts if you have any.